I'll tell you a little bit about my story. So growing up, I didn't eat like everyone else. My family owned a barbecue restaurant, and so it's like a complete 180, just total opposite direction of being vegan in my family. And they think I'm like the weird one, but it's all good. I ate meat like everybody else. And it worked for me playing sports. So I was big and strong. But anyways. All that caught up to me my third year in the NFL when I started suffering from actually before then in college, I started suffering from high blood pressure, and then after the high blood pressure, I started having like tendinitis and early onset arthritis, and what else? I had nerve damage in my right hand where I couldn't even feel 3 of my fingers, and I had to tape these 3 fingers to my index finger just in order to make a fist. It was to the point I couldn't even do a push-up or get anybody off of me. Okay, so all that happened to me between, I was like in college, and it got really bad between the age of 24, that's when it really started hitting me. And then the doctors, just like any other doctor, most doctors, what they do is they prescribe me medicine. They had me on anti-inflammatories, painkillers, high blood pressure medication, and this was in my early 20s, I was like 23. And then I was, okay, this can't be right. I'm 23 years old, I'm an NFL player. People look, like I'm supposed to be a pillar of health. That's what my job is. I lift weights all day and work out all day. That's what I'm supposed to do. But I'm on all these medications for blood pressure, and this shit is crazy. So I went vegan after watching the Forks Over Knives documentary too. I think she set that up. She set that in front of me, and I sat and watched the Forks Over Knives documentary, and I found out that actually dairy is actually, they say it's good for your bones, it's good for you, it doesn't milk does your body good and all that stuff. It's like, it doesn't. It actually leaches, and this is real, it leaches calcium from the bones because it's so toxic, and it just leaches calcium from the bones. I was like, wow. So, and it causes inflammation within the body. As soon as you digest the dairy products you eat, it sends the body into instant state of inflammation. And that's, if you think about it, what is tendinitis? If you break down the word tendon, and itis is Latin for inflammation, and that had inflammation in the joints, I was like, wow, I'm causing my own illnesses. I'm shortening my career by eating these shitty foods. And so I was like, okay, well, I have to make this change. And I was like, okay, I went online and Googled just like my man over here and looked up all those athletes, and I went and Googled this. I was like, okay, but someone else is doing this, and they're having this success. You have the strongest man in Germany. You have the vegan dread, these bodybuilders, all these guys, you have Ritual, all these people that are doing it. I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna make that change. And then I made the change, and I was like, okay, well, what am I gonna do? I was like, all right, so I had to literally veganize my current menu, which was at the time hamburgers, pizza, and nachos. So I just made vegan nachos, vegan hamburgers, vegan pizza, and it worked for me. I wasn't craving anything. I didn't crave any meat. I didn't crave any dairy because to me, I was still eating the same thing. I was eating nachos. I was eating pizza. It tasted good. But the thing that happened, everything got better for me. I started feeling better. My tendinitis went away. My high blood pressure went down. I wasn't just eating all pizza and hamburgers and stuff. I started eating healthier after time went on. But my tendinitis went away, my high blood pressure went away, I was off that medication, I wasn't on painkillers anymore. Like the feeling in my hands came back, I was running faster. My bench press went up because of the tendinitis and all the pain in my joints. I was only bench pressing 315 pounds at the time for 5, which isn't a lot for me. But when I started going vegan, my bench press went up to 460, and I was doing that, and my leg press went up, and I was doing 1,800 pounds instead of 10 on the leg press machine. And then we ran out of weights in the gym, so my wife had to jump on top of the leg press machine, so I was bending and leg pressing 1,800 pounds and her on the one. That was funny. But anyway, so all that happened to me. I had faster recovery time. I was running 7-minute miles at 295 pounds. I got my weight back up. I went on to this thing called Operation Weight Gain. But everything was crazy. Reduced body fat, increased muscle mass, increased speed, improved strength. I told you about that. Increased stamina. I was running longer. And improved sleep. I was sleeping through the night. Regular eliminations, you need to, people aren't taking shits out here. You need to have the regular shit. Injuries were going away, and mental clarity, focus. It was a lot easier for me to focus on things and lower food costs. A lot of people think that, eating a vegan diet or living a vegan lifestyle is expensive, but beans and rice are the most inexpensive things that you can buy out there, And if you utilize things like the farmer's market and, Gardein, if you utilize processed meats, Gardein is inexpensive and it's good. Why don't you eat meat? Humans are made to eat meat, and no, we're not, bro. Like, okay, well, let me ask you this question: are you a carnivore? Okay. So number one, those are not canines. Those teeth, obviously, that's You try and bite into the flesh of a chicken, bite your skin, and see if you can break through your skin. That's just not going to work. Like, you're just going to be sitting there for a long ass time. We don't have claws. We don't have the strength to take down an animal. I'm the biggest person in here, and if I try to go tackle a cow or something, I'm going to kick the shit out of you, and I'm going to die. And that's what's going to happen. And it's just simple things like this. Is like, what is your body? The human body is not designed to eat meat. We don't look like lions. We don't look like tigers. We don't look like we can go and attack an animal. We're just not built for that, and we're not designed for meat. We don't have the intestines. We don't have the stomach acid to break down the meats and the proteins, the animal proteins like that. And it's like, so if we're not built to do these things, we're not built to kill animals, we're not built to eat meat. That's just my opinion. And have you ever heard of a carnivore dying of cancer, diabetes, stroke, or being obese? Like, have you ever heard of a tiger or a lion being obese? It's like, no, it never happened. They're eating the food that they're supposed to be eating. We're over here eating shit that our body can't process, and saturated fat, we're having heart attacks out here, and that's really because of diabetes and all this shit. Like, come on, this is crazy. And every year, the CDC puts out a list of the #1 killers out there, and obviously heart disease and cancer are #1 on the list. And cholesterol, which are only found in animals, in animal products like milk, meat, butter, eggs, and all that stuff, is only found there. And that's where it blocks the heart. Not saturated fat, cholesterol blocks the heart, blocks the arteries, and causes all of these things. When the heart can't function, when the heart can't pump blood because it's surrounded by fat, animal fat that comes in the body, our bodies can't process it, we can't burn it off. This is a damaged heart that's surrounded by fat. It's just like any muscle, it gets tired. It's pumping blood, it gets tired, and the fat that surrounds the heart is burning that muscle out. Not only that, you have erectile dysfunction, and so if you think about it, the man's tool, the penis or whatever, just fills up with blood, and if there's no blood getting to the penis because it's blocked by cholesterol, which only comes from meat or dairy products or animal products, then that's what's happening. It's not going to work. The tool's not going to work. 1 out of 3 adults are considered to be obese. 1 out of 3 children in the ages of 6 to 19, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. That's like first grade and to high school are obese and are overweight. 1/3 of them, that's insane, are considered. So, and it's the same thing with diabetes. 1/3 of the children are also diabetic, and all of this is directly linked to the food that we're eating. We're eating all this saturated fat. Kids are eating chips and pizzas, and McDonald's are getting into the school districts, and all this stuff is what's causing these children to be obese. And like these doctors, like I said, they're not in the business to help you to get better. They're not in this business to make you healthier because they're in it for the money. They're what you consider, if your doctors are not learning about food and making you feel better with your food and making you healthier with your food, they're working for the person to get you better with drugs. And you can't get better with drugs because drugs are just a Band-Aid. Like when someone's on the medication, they're on it. You can't get them off. People are paying $8,000 a year, just to live. They're selling treatments, not cures. They have money behind them, and they're not in the business of making you better. They're in the business of making more money. And if you continue to not educate yourself on what is healthy food, then you're going to continue to be a victim of them, of their, bullying you and not. That's just how the body works. You got to take care of it. If you don't, then it can't protect you because you're not taking care of it. A lot of people ask me too, what do you eat as a vegan? And it's like, there's countless things. Look, breakfast, you got pancakes, and you got vegan hamburgers, and that looks really good. You got vegan nachos, you got vegan pizzas. And it's all delicious stuff, and you can go on and on. And there's countless stuff to eat. You can get creative and go online and find a recipe, and it'll be really, it's just, it's 2016 and it's catching up. So if you guys catch up with, if you guys demand for it, it'll come this way. So that's what I think. So thank you for listening to my speech, and